Welcome to This Explainer. If you follow football, you already know the FIFA World Cup is the absolute pinnacle of the sport. But today, we're going way past the basics. We're going to dissect the architecture of this global phenomenon, the psychology, the incredible scarcity, and the legacies, just to understand exactly why this tournament holds such an unmatched grip on the planet. We'll explore how a simple game on a grass pitch transforms into this absolute economic juggernaut and honestly, a sociological marvel. It's not just a trophy, guys, it's a cultural timeline. Think about it. When we look back at our lives, we often measure time in World Cups. It's like a shared global chronometer, and we're going to dive into exactly how it earned that legendary status.
So think about the biggest events on the planet for a second. We're talking global elections, the Olympics, the Super Bowl, historic space launches. As sports fans, we know football absolutely dwarfs them all when it comes to viewership. But the sheer statistical chasm between the World Cup and literally everything else, it puts the scale of global entertainment into a totally different perspective. We aren't just talking about a highly rated broadcast here. We are talking about an event that commands the active attention of over half the human population. Half! It really forces us to ask, what is it about 22 players chasing a ball that can outdraw almost any other human endeavor in history?
Well, the answer lies in its unprecedented sociological impact. When the World Cup final kicks off, the world genuinely alters its rhythm. Busy megacities fall completely silent. Traffic literally stops in Buenos Aires. Markets slow down in London, and millions of people are waking up at 3 in the morning in Tokyo. This isn't just a sporting event, it's a synchronized global experience. It is one of the very few times in modern history where humanity experiences the exact same emotional spikes. The tension, the heartbreak, the pure ecstasy, all at the exact same second, regardless of language, time zone, or geopolitical borders. It's a profound sociological anomaly that just cannot be replicated by anything else.
And central to this whole phenomenon is a brutal, unforgiving number: 4, the 4-year cycle. In modern entertainment, everything is about constant content, right? Annual championships, weekly updates. But the World Cup demands patience, and that scarcity is the real engine of its power. For a professional footballer, 4 years is an absolute eternity. An elite player might only hit their physical and tactical prime for maybe 2, possibly 3 tournaments in their entire career. That means they get at best 2 realistic shots at immortality. If you pull a hamstring a month before the tournament, or your team has just one bad night in the qualifiers, boom, your window closes for half a decade. That extreme scarcity creates a psychological pressure cooker that simply doesn't exist in annual club football.
And because of that extreme scarcity, the emotional stakes are magnified to a level that completely transcends normal competition. We see this play out through deeply profound human themes: passion, pride, and history. Just think about the pure physical toll of a World Cup knockout match, or the suffocating weight of a penalty shootout, where just a single kick carries the hopes and the entire identity of 50 million people back home. We routinely see hardened, multi-millionaire athletes, players who have won absolutely everything there is to win at the club level, just break down in tears on the pitch. They aren't just wearing a jersey, they are carrying the cultural pride of their nation, fighting to write a chapter in a historical narrative that will literally be taught to their grandchildren.
Now, a stage with stakes this high, it requires a very specific type of protagonist. Club football is a marathon. It's all about consistency over a grueling 9-month season. But the World Cup, it's a high-wire act without a safety net. It demands players who can shoulder the crushing expectations of billions and still execute moments of sheer genius when the margins are impossibly thin. These are the rare individuals who can elevate a tactical, grueling match into a generational spectacle, literally carrying an entire squad and their country right on their shoulders. Historically, the ultimate benchmark for this kind of greatness was set by Pelé. He's a player whose international legacy of 3 World Cup victories cast a massive, frankly intimidating shadow over every single generation that followed. And that historic standard fundamentally shifted the landscape of football greatness. It meant that for modern titans of the sport, guys like Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, dominating the domestic leagues and racking up Champions League trophies just wasn't enough. To cement their names in the absolute highest echelon of the sport's history, they had to prove they could harness their brilliance on that chaotic, unforgiving international stage to match the ghosts of the past.
Which actually creates this fascinating paradox that has totally defined the climax of modern football. For nearly 2 decades, we've watched Messi and Ronaldo shatter every conceivable club record, pushing each other to unprecedented heights and basically monopolizing the Ballon d'Or. Yet, despite their weekly heroics in Europe, the overarching narrative of their historic rivalry was always intrinsically tied to this one tournament. Their ultimate validation in the eyes of history wasn't going to be decided over a 38-game league season. No, it was going to be decided in the frantic, high-stakes crucible of a 4-week window that only opens twice a decade. It is the absolute ultimate testament to the World Cup's gravity that it remained the final, defining hurdle for the two most statistically dominant players the game has ever seen.
So all of this brings us to a really compelling question about the nature of greatness itself. If the World Cup is the absolute measure of a footballing legacy, does lifting this iconic trophy definitively settle the debate of the greatest of all time? Or does true greatness transcend even this stage, and is it measured instead by a lifetime of consistency, club loyalty, and relentless individual brilliance across decades? It really challenges us to define what we truly value in a sporting icon. So who, in your eyes, has truly conquered the beautiful game, and what metrics actually matter most to you? Thanks so much for exploring the architecture of this incredible tournament with me today on This Explainer. Keep questioning and keep learning.